The IMF is absolutely scared to death of crypto adoption. Find out why. Question everything. Trust nothing. Welcome to Debate Crypto. It's your boys, Keeper and Crusader, here for another episode of, wait a minute, today is going to be a little bit different episode. It's normally TA Thursday, but you know what, dude? I think since we started TA Thursday, this is going to be the very first time that we had all of our guests have something going on kind of out of nowhere.
Sons of guns all bailed on us.
They bailed, but never fear. Crusader's been working on his TA, and yeah, we've got lots of good news for you. So hang around. We'll have some fun. Make sure to smash that like if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification. And guys, we have 6 videos on the Danger Close Alpha podcast, and we have 66 subs. So currently, it looks like 666 if you go over to Danger Close Alpha. We need to fix that. So we need at least one more sub. If you haven't subbed already, it is pinned in the chat. We're going live on Sundays at 1 p.m. If you guys like the political aspect of some of the stuff that we kind of dive into a little bit here, we go ham over there. All right, let me jump into the chat real quick, see who's up in the house. Sophisticated dirtbag fly fishing, first in the house. Glad to see you here, brother. And Patriot Caveman back again. We're appreciative that everybody is here. All right, so Crusader, we got a bunch on the show today. We got El Salvador talking, educating the people. Love that. Vitalik Buterin's got some cool stuff, ladies and gents, that he's talking about as it relates to privacy that I think makes a lot of sense, that they're not going to be able to say, oh, they're going to, launder money using this. This is kind of a service that would basically take that argument out of there. Love to see that. Lots of money being made in Bitcoin mining. We got a lot of stuff going on. And then, like I said at the start of the show, the IMF is getting scared of crypto adoption. So let's take a look at the markets. Let's see what's going on. Oh, Crusader, I wanted to tell you, I exited that position. Are you still in that position?
What position? No, I don't have any position
open. Okay. No positions open. Okay. I exited that position. I did, ladies and gentlemen, on 55X. I took a $14 loss. So is what it is. Again, like I told you yesterday, I was up $20 on 100, which is 20%. And in classic Keeper fashion, just thought, it's $100. Let's see what else it can do. And I'll tell you what it can do. It can lose you 14% as opposed to make you 20. So learn from me. Don't do dumb stuff. All right, let's take a peek at the markets. The global crypto market cap is at, drumroll please, what do you know, for about the 50th day in a row, 1.04 trillion with a T dollars. That's down 0.16%. Bitcoin is just basically stalled out. We've had some upward action, some downward action, but it's staying in about a $300 to $400 range. 25,859, up almost 1% though. It's green. Okay, I like it. ETH's at 1634, up about 0.5%. Rolling through the rest of the top 10. Hey, look at Ethereum, look at XRP. Reclaiming 50 cents. The run is happening, ladies and gents. $50 next stop. Cardano's at 25 cents. Dogecoin at 6.3 cents. Still thinking that's an interesting play for us to take a peek at, Crusader. And then Solana is just under $20. Tron at about 7.8 cents. Do you have any TA, brother, or are we going to dive right into the articles?
Yeah, I don't have any crazy TA. I can show you a little bit something that's happening here in the 5-minute chart for Bitcoin, but nothing crazy. The macro level stuff is pretty much the same, I believe. Let me share my screen here.
Yeah, it's been pretty flat. Smash the like if you haven't already, ladies and gents, and turn on the bell notifications.
So here on the 5-minute, right, you guys can see here that we have a bit of a little trend going on right here, right? Terrible line.
Wow, that was an impressive line, I got to tell you.
It was the brush. I thought it was the trend line.
I'm like, man, the platform is failing you miserably right now, because that was the worst line.
Let me get my trend line. Where's my trend line? All right, so you guys can see here, we got a trend line going on. right? This is a little mini sideways head and shoulders once again. This is on the 5 minute, and we're breaking out of it right now for a little short position. Could possibly drop all the way down to this daily open, maybe even to the very top of this value area high, which would be good support at this point since we are above it. For a little short position here on the 5 minute. That's for Bitcoin. If let me see on the bigger time frames here on the daily, what we're seeing, has anything actually changed, or are we just still exactly where we've been this whole time, which I believe we are exactly where we've
Because we've been basically going up, going down, going up a little, going down a little. I mean,
been.
we have just been absolutely look at that.
As you can see, we're still just there going sideways.
Chopping.
Good brush. Yep, just going sideways here on this value area low, holding support here, trying to see when we get the breakout. I honestly don't know.
If we keep holding it statistically, if we continue to test that, for those of you that don't know, statistically, when an area gets tested over and over again, the more times it gets tested, the more likely it is to break. If we continue to test it and then bounce to the upside, statistically, we should break through it, break down from there, because we continue to touch it. Since we continue to test a trend line, an area below us, we should break down through that statistically.
Yeah, man, it definitely looks that way, right? But then you have to take into market psychology and all the craziness, right? Of manipulation and the aspect of the news, right? Because it's not actually that they're manipulating the market, but they're just trying to time the good news. If we get an ETF approval here in the next month or two, right, we could go sideways for the next month and a half, maybe have a little bit of a run up once again, but nothing crazy. And then ETF approval, blast off back into this regression trend, right? Testing the top of this range would be 30,000, and from there it's off to the races. So anything's possible with the ETF scenario, especially now they're also talking about Bitcoin ETFs and all the other madness.
Oh, you mean the ETH ETF?
Yeah,
I actually didn't pull that article, but so I guess we could start there. Kathy Wood, I don't have this article pulled up, but Kathy Wood and ARK Invest actually did file officially yesterday for an ETH ETF. And somebody asked in the chat, and I asked them to clarify. Spoon-Fed Babies said, please answer this, and maybe Crusader, you can shed some light on this. I don't know what they're asking. How can there be an ETH ETF if they can change it? Do you know what they're asking there?
Are they talking about the changes to the upgrades that are happening to the code of Ethereum? Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Maybe, but that's not going to change effectively the the actual token itself. I mean,
I don't fully understand what he
Spoon-Fed Babies, drop in the chat what it is that you're referring to as it relates to if they can change it, and we'll be happy to answer your question. If you guys have questions, drop that in the chat. We're definitely paying attention. He said, yes, how can they change? He said, yes, how can they change the code?
Well, Bitcoin can have code changes too, right? Last cycle we had I forget what they call it. I forget the name of it now. Sounded something like a carrot or something.
I remember there was a code change.
There was a code change which allowed for smart contracts to be somewhat implemented into Bitcoin, which then led into all this ordinal stuff, and it's leading to all this craziness. They're talking about DeFi. They're talking about all these things being built on Bitcoin. It's just Bitcoin changes are a lot slower and scarcer throughout time versus Ethereum is a lot more. But when you talk about these changes, the changes don't fundamentally change what is the asset.
Yes.
It just adds, it just patches up either little bugs.
Carrot, aka Taproot.
Taproot. There you go. I knew it had something to do with
Good call, RPM 87. Good call.
I knew it had something to do with carrots.
No, you're right. You're right, Crusader. And the other thing is like companies change all the time. There's ETFs surrounding baskets of companies, and the fundamental framework of these companies actively change. So I think the argument would easily be made that, hey, there's changes happening all the time in massive, massive corporations, institutions, etc. It doesn't change the fact that the corporation or institution that you signed up to be a part of or an investor in isn't still that same thing. It just means, hey, there's some new people involved, or we're doing some new stuff, or we're selling some new products, or and on and on and on. And I think it's kind of the same.
Yeah. Christian here says, "What are they going to do about the ETH gas fees once they hit all-time highs again? Remember how bad it was? Yeah, they're definitely going to get bad again for sure. But when it comes to this spot ETF, if a spot ETF for Ethereum does occur, by the way, I believe is super bullish, right? Because if we're all hyped up about 100K or plus with a Bitcoin ETF, imagine us Ethereum ETF, dude. It is massive, and I believe right now." Ethereum is more deflationary than Bitcoin is currently with how much is being burned, and we're in a bear market.
I actually already have my Mai Tais on hold, on order on the beach for when the ETH ETF comes out because could be good for my bags.
It's going to be massive. But when it comes to the gas fees, I want to remind people, doing things on the blockchain for Ethereum, like minting NFTs and doing DeFi transactions and locking up liquidity on a yield farm, and those kind of things get expensive. But sending money is always like sending the actual Ethereum from wallet to wallet.
Oh, it's not expensive.
Simple transaction is always a lot, even though it raises with the gas fees.
Yeah.
It's still significantly a lot less than minting an NFT because it's not the same level of priority or difficulty in the blockchain that requires that fee. So the fees are always lower, and I believe it's just one of those things that they're just going to keep continuously always trying to improve. Use layer 2s, layer 3s, layer 5s, layer 6s, whatever it is, to try to reduce those fees.
Crypto Billy said, but Miguel, what is cap supply of ETH again? Bitcoin is 21 million.
For sure.
Nobody's arguing that capped. For sure.
Yeah,
nobody's
that's
arguing
a really
that.
good question. It's not capped, right? Which has always been a problem. But if it does burn so much more ETH than what is actually being produced, the cap here doesn't really matter too much because you're actually becoming very deflationary at an accelerated rate, especially as we head into the bull market. And more applications get built on it, and we have all this madness in NFTs and DeFi again. It actually kind of balances itself out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what kind of price action we get out of that as well. It should be exciting. I don't know. I've heard people throw around some wild numbers. I personally like to keep my projections low. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think we'll go low. I don't think that the all-time high will be lower than 7K. Okay, because I like to keep my expectations. I don't think it'll be lower than 7K.
If it's 7K only,
I will too. But I don't think it'll be lower than 7. Which hey, look at it, bro. That's a 400% move from right now. Just to be clear, right? But what's 400%? We're in crypto, baby. So
bro, we're not here for that garbage. Let's get out of here. We're waiting 4 years for 400%. What is this? 100% a year?
But I don't see it going north of 12.
North of 12 is difficult, but anything can drastically happen, especially if my super cycle theory kicks in, baby. If my super cycle theory kicks in,
the Mai Tais are absolutely
with these spot ETFs, bro. I'm telling you, we're off to the races, and 20K Ethereum is on the podium. I'm for it.
We're at 196 billion right now. Okay, at 1600. So a 10K is going to be effectively a 6.6 increase from that, which would be a little bit over $2 trillion. So a 10K Ethereum is going to be over 2 trillion. So do we think that much money is going to be flowing into the markets over this next bull run? Do you?
Dude, with institutional money, with these spot ETFs that I keep harping on, I sound like a broken record. 2 trillion is nothing, bro. We sent Ukraine 1.6 trillion, and it wasn't even an investment, bro.
We didn't send them $1 trillion. We've sent them like $100 and something billion. Just to be clear.
I'm pretty sure all combined we're somewhere near or at least close to $1 trillion. And we're not even going to get an ROI on that one. Okay. That's literally the worst spending of money ever. So I think institutional money can definitely spend a few $1 trillion on Bitcoin and Ethereum.
What's $1 trillion between friends?
Dude, not for them. It's nothing. It's like
no big deal. Just print it. Print it. No big deal.
That's right.
Crypto fam, smash the like if you guys have fun on the show. We definitely enjoy bantering back and forth, talking about crypto, talking about what's going on, worldwide economics, politics, all that good stuff. If you enjoy all of that, make sure that you are subscribed, and then also make sure to subscribe to Danger Close Alpha, which is pinned in the chat. I know we keep mentioning it, but we're trying to grow a new channel, so you're going to hear it a lot. We're having fun over there. We think you guys will have fun, so we just keep mentioning it. Just take a little click at the top of the screen.
That's right, guys. Danger Close Alpha is not dead. Everybody holding on to those NFTs will reap rewards.
Yes, this is true. Hola! What's up, French Toaster? Good to see you, brother. I will be on Sin City Crypto on Tuesday, guys, so make sure to check that out. I think I'm going to start some beef with Sin City Crypto while I'm on there. I just want to call that out. I love Sin City Crypto, but just I'm listen, chat, don't be diming me, don't be diming me
guys.
Out. Don't be diming me out now, all right? I'm going to start some shit on the show on Tuesday, okay? So chat, you keep your freaking mouth shut. And pay attention for Tuesday because I'm starting some beef live in studio. Okay,
so. That's right. He's gonna start flipping couches, throwing mics, all kinds of craziness over there.
Thanks for having me, you assholes. No, we love Sin City Crypto. I'm just being an ass. Well, I mean, I might start some beef just because it'll be fun, but you know. All right, cool. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at El Salvador. Third world country, no doubt, but doing a lot of good things for.
Are
crypto.
they still a third world country though? Or are they on the up?
Well. Depends on how much Bitcoin they hold versus where this number goes, because they might turn from a third world to you know what I'm saying, like
they got
a world
those volcanoes
superpower
working overtime.
If they held this much in XRP, bro, that would be a world superpower when it pumped. I just want to be clear, okay? So,
oh god, just kiss freedom goodbye. Just enslave all your people instantaneously.
All right, so check this out. El Salvador launches education program to teach Bitcoin in every school. El Salvador, which most of you know is the first nation to officially adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, is once again making headlines in the world of crypto. With the combined efforts of My First Bitcoin, Bitcoin Beach, and the Ministry of Education, the nation announced the inception of an ambitious pilot program today. This initiative aims to incorporate Bitcoin education in all schools, all schools across the country by 2024. Initiated on the 2-year mark of the groundbreaking Bitcoin law, this program is set to train 150 public school teachers about Bitcoin. After receiving their training, these educators will disperse across the nation, integrating Bitcoin knowledge into their respective curriculum and classrooms. All right, Crusader, we had talked about, and I'm not going to throw out there what the business plan was. We had talked about doing something that we should actually put back on the table. We can talk about that later. But ultimately, one of the parts of that was education. Right, was putting education into, putting Bitcoin, putting crypto on the map. Because here's the problem. You have all of these young individuals that are going to school. They're learning about a lot. But ultimately, I don't know what it's like today, but I didn't learn anything about personal finance. And as you've probably heard me talk about on here and on TikTok, they don't want you to. Because effectively, if you actually understand how money works, you understand how badly you've been getting burnt for so long. And now this thing called Bitcoin comes along and gives the opportunity to have some sort of freedom in being your own bank and being able to seamlessly transact. I love it. But the problem is the kids don't understand it. Most people, if you ask them, and I'm not just talking about young, old, whatever, if you ask people to explain Bitcoin to you, they're maybe going to tell you, isn't it like a digital money or something like you're going to get a very vague answer. And so if we can get people educated on it, what's that do? Well, that introduces people to the idea that, hey, this makes a lot of sense and I could get on board with it. And then what's the next step? Hey, maybe I should be using this. Maybe I should be holding this.
Yeah, man. I 100% agree with that. I graduated high school taking honors and AP classes, and I learned diddly squat. I graduated high school not knowing nothing, and I took AP classes, right? I took all these college credits.
You learn how to memorize. That's what you learn.
Yeah, you just learn how to get by the day-to-day. And anything you do learn is not long lasting. It's not applicable in real life, right? You can learn all about literature all you want. Ain't going to stop you from getting punched in the face, right? You can learn all the math you want. Maybe that can help you with a little bit of ducking and weaving, right? The angles here and there. But about that, it just doesn't take you very far in the real world. There's a lot of things that in high school, middle school, you spend almost, what is it? There's a statistic of how many years you spend in school, how many hours of your life you spend all the way to graduate high school. And it's such a waste because all those times could have been going into something that could be a trade, a passion, a real skill. Exactly. They just need sheep, right? They need worker bees. So learning about Bitcoin, and not just about finance, but about the technology of how blockchain works, what is money, right? Why is Bitcoin a better form of money? What is hard money versus fake money? And once you learn that, it opens up your mind to understand that what we're doing, what we're spending our life for, right? Because when you're working, you're trading your lifetime for literally money. It's not worth it because meanwhile, you're working 80, 90 hours a week to try to pay your bills. Uncle Sam over there is just hitting the money printer and buying whatever they need at the moment, and is devaluing your dollar. So it makes you just waste even more time of your life to try to keep up, and it just it's not sustainable. So I think it's very important for younger kids, younger people to be introduced to this at a very, I mean, they're being introduced to tablets, they're being introduced to iPhones, they're being introduced to the internet, the metaverse, they're being introduced to all this other stuff. Why are they not being introduced to digital currencies
Yeah,
and how they work? I mean, I think if GTA 6 implements crypto, which there's a rumor is that
I
they
heard that.
will,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's fake crypto or not, right? It being implemented in there would be a big way of awakening a large group of younger people to like, hey, what is this crypto, what is this Bitcoin thing, and how
Yeah.
can I use it in real life?
Yeah, I mean, my 2-year-old effectively knows how to use an
Your 2 year old's
iPad.
playing GTA.
Not yet. We might introduce that, but I'm not so sure. I think he can do maybe a little bit of some extra, features on there that I might not want to introduce to a 2-year-old. Yeah, well, I wasn't even thinking about running people over. I was thinking about how you could make the car rock back and forth and do all the other craziness in that freaking show.
You would be
But I
thinking
can't.
about that.
I know, can't help it. Dirty mind. So yeah, but at any event, I think the education piece is what's missing right now across the world, and I think that it's purposeful. I really do. I think that they're pushing so hard to show you price action or not price action or regulation or not regulation. It's the same thing as we see in the news. It's like, hey, look over here, look over here, look over here, and they're like trying to slide stuff in. And if we can get more and more educated, especially the younger, generations, I think what they understand is that the younger generations are going to be who's going to be leading. And if the younger generations get hip to the idea that, wow, this is legit, this is for real. Why are we messing with dollars? Why are we messing with any of these other currencies? That could be a problem. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit as it relates to the IMF because they are scared, shaken in their boots.
That goes directly with this comment right here from Donnie. Says, big part is we need honest media, not hype trains and all the fake news as well. But that's why YouTube and TikTok are such viable sources now, and Google is garbage. That's
Oh,
just the
Google's a
way.
big part of the problem.
That's the big. Google's a monopoly, right? This country has a monopoly laws where you can't control an entire sector. Yet there's tons of monopolies, right? Apple is a monopoly.
Damn
Google
near.
is a monopoly, right? Facebook is a monopoly. Like there's literally only 3 social media platforms in this entire country: Facebook, Instagram. They're both owned by the same people. Then we have Twitter. Now we got TikTok, and they're trying to get rid of it. Like
Mhm.
it's literally 3.
Yeah,
How is that a diverse social media platform industry? It's not,
yeah.
right? Phones, you have Androids and you have Apple, and Apple's like over 50% of the market. How is that not a monopoly? And the news is the same thing. They might have a lot of different brand names, but they're all feeding you the same narratives. They're all feeding you the same BS. And this is why YouTube has taken off as hard as it has, is because people come on here, right? Yes, there's always going to be some garbage on YouTube. There's always going to be garbage on TikTok. But you filter through that, you're going to find real people giving real information that's very, very important
Or at
to
least to
learn.
the best, or at least to the best of their ability. We don't have like a monetary incentive to sell you on the idea that Bitcoin is freedom, right? We know we can't
Yeah.
move the price of Bitcoin. We're just stating, hey, this has worked for us. Try to educate people more and more, and it's the future. So I'm excited to see countries like El Salvador. Hopefully, other countries will jump on board with it. I think it's going to take time. But somebody's always got to be first. You know what I mean? So, hey, let me ask you real quick, just as an aside, what's up with like Miami coin? Do you know? Because I mean,
I
what's
don't
your
know
stomping ground?
what's going on with Miami coin right now. I know when it came all about, right? They were it made no sense. I looked at the statistics of how it worked. So you had to basically give up some Bitcoin because it's on the Stacks network, which is based
Okay.
off the Bitcoin network, right?
Okay.
So it's almost like a layer 2 for Bitcoin or whatever it is. And long story short, you had to give a bunch of Bitcoin and then they would pay you back slowly, the whole yield farming thing. But the math didn't math and didn't make any sense. And the tokenomics of the Miami coin and the price fluctuation just didn't make sense. So I hope people stayed away from the Miami coin. I'm not a proponent of these different city coins that have been coming out because they're not just Miami coin. I think there's one for New York. There was one for like Texas. There's a few of them.
What are they using them for?
To steal people's money some way,
No,
somehow
I
from the
mean,
city.
didn't they? I thought they, I believe that. I thought they originally set it up like to where, hey, you can pay your taxes in Bitcoin or Miami coin, or you can do like, didn't they have like some use case that they were using with it?
Maybe I don't
It's not like
remember
you
too
walk into
well.
the club and pay in Miami
And
coin, right?
Miami coin, yes, Miami coin is like dropping every other day, left and right. It's not making, yeah, I don't know. I would
Okay.
stay away from all those city coins. I think they're all a bunch of fugazi. If you talk, people talk a lot of smack about meme coins and all these trash things. City coins are
City
meme
coins are
coins.
right up there.
They're meme coins. That's what they are.
The city was doing the exact same thing as all the pump and dump schemes. Crypto fam, smash that like if you haven't already. Let's talk about some privacy. Privacy is something that you hear us talk about quite a bit. I think it's a really, really important thing. It is part of, well, that's going to, that kind of privacy
A
is
different type of privacy.
little different. Yeah. Some privacy that I won't be playing
I'm not gonna
along
lie,
with.
it was great times being incognito. You just walk around, people don't even know who you are. It's great.
Yeah, because what? You walk around Miami and everybody's like, Crusader, Crusader.
No, but you always run into somebody from
know.
high school or whatever, and then you're
and
like,
they want a small talk, and
yeah, and you're like, I don't know
yeah,
you.
but with your half your face covered, most people are like, "Do I know those eyes? Do I
That's
not know
right.
those eyes?" Might have been him, might have not. So
That's
whatever.
right.
All right, so let's talk about privacy. Vitalik Buterin has got what I believe to be a really freaking good idea. So Vitalik Buterin pushes for privacy pools to balance anonymity with regulatory compliance. A research paper co-authored by the Ethereum co-founder explores a privacy-preserving blockchain protocol that complies with global regulations. There's the best-looking man in crypto right there himself.
I haven't
I'll
heard
tell you.
about this, so I'm very interested in hearing how this works.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin has co-authored a new research paper exploring how preserving blockchain protocol could balance the need for user anonymity with regulatory compliance. The paper, co-authored by Buterin along with early Tornado Cash contributor Amin Solanami, Jacob Elam from blockchain security firm Chainalysis, and two researchers from the University of Basel, delves into the subject of establishing a neutral infrastructure to incorporate privacy into blockchain transactions. It builds upon the concept of privacy pools protocol introduced by Soleimani. I'm going to say Soleimani in March of 2023. This protocol, a fork of Tornado Cash, aims to improve its model to include regulatory compliance. Privacy pool operates similarly to Tornado Cash by mixing multiple user transactions to obscure their true origins. However, when users choose to withdraw their funds, they have the option to generate a zero-knowledge proof. The zero-knowledge proof confirms that they are not utilizing a criminal blockchain address while still safeguarding their identity. The new research paper seeks to strike a balance between privacy pool-like protocols and compliance with various regulatory and practical considerations by covering various hypothetical use cases. So effectively,
I hope they explain that. How does the zero proof knowledge confirm that you're not using criminal activities?
Let me see if it. The researchers described the infrastructure on top of and the consequences of this simple core mechanic. Let's see here. Crucial topic of discussion revolves around the creation of association sets representing a group of wallets connected via zero knowledge proofs. The researchers introduced the concept of association set providers, ASPs, tasked with generating association sets. An excerpt from the paper states that in some instances, the ASPs can be entirely constructed on chain, requiring no human or AI intervention. Alternatively, they may independently generate association sets. And so, okay, whatever. The researchers also address centralization concerns in pool management while striving to maintain regulatory compliance. Furthermore, the authors have sought insights from legal experts to assist in tailoring the protocol and surrounding ecosystem to ensure compliance across various legal jurisdictions. Tornado Cash. And then this talks about Tornado Cash. So I don't, obviously it doesn't say in there how that works, but I think that it's a great idea.
I think what they're, if I'm understanding correct, I think the association thing is they're basically building a set of wallets coming together that have already been somewhat verified to have no criminal activity or history involved. Okay. And then kind of saying like, okay, these wallets are good to go. They can use the privacy tool because they're not flagged of any type of previous kind of what's the word, illicit activity. Okay. So I think that's what they're doing. They're creating a non-verified but a verified association of wallets in that way. And if your wallet gets flagged for some way, then they're like, hey, you're not okay to use this tool. I think that's what it's saying.
Yeah, I think it. So if you're indeed right, and I apologize that the article doesn't like dive into how it actually works, but the way that I understood it or what I liked about it was that it gave the whole argument is always like, well, what do you need that for? Well, what is it your freaking business what I'm doing with anything with my money? It doesn't mean that I'm freaking listen. I'm not going to put out all of Debate Crypto's finances out there for everybody. It doesn't mean that we're laundering freaking money. Right? It just means, hey, there's supposed to be privacy in money. That's okay. Everything ain't for everybody, right?
And if you are laundering money, make those FBIs work for it, bro. You want free money? Come and work for it. Yeah, I'm just gonna hand it to you. I'm not just gonna put a sign. I'm doing illicit activities. You're getting paid by taxpayer money. Work for it. Find me and catch me if you can.
Catch me if you can. Yeah, no, I think that if it can get presented, in the right way to some of these, agencies, regulatory bodies that are fighting so hard saying it's money laundering. Well, maybe this is an opportunity for them to say, listen, we can show you that it's not and still allow people to have their privacy. I just think it's the best of both worlds.
I'm definitely interested. Jokes aside about the whole money laundering thing, obviously I'm not a advocate of any of that, but I am definitely interested to see how this progresses, how much privacy is actually private, or are they going to slip in some, sketchy little thing where like, we're telling you it's private, but we got you, right? We know who you are, kind of thing. So I'm definitely interested in seeing where this progresses. The zero knowledge proofs have definitely been a thing. ZK, right, has been a big thing that's been moving on to layer 2s, Polygon, to a lot of different blockchains right now. So I'm very interested in seeing how this progresses.
It just says that the zero knowledge. It just says the zero knowledge proof confirms that they're not using a criminal blockchain address while still safeguarding their identity. So I don't know. However, it's doing the actual, confirmation. Like you said, it's not a flagged address. It has no issues with it. Whatever the case may be, if this allows some of the regulatory bodies to say, okay, you can keep your privacy, but we're going to need something like this in place. I just think that it's an interesting idea to kind of take that next step forward, because everything done in private is not illicit. That's really what it comes down to for me.
For sure. 100%.
Smash that like, crypto fam, if you haven't already. We got about 30 people in here. Kind of a slow Thursday. Sorry that TA Thursday didn't pop off. This is the first time, I think, since we started TA Thursday.
A long time.
But it happens. It happens. Yep. So it is.
Let's get to 10K, baby. Let's get to 10K. We're losing subs every single day. You guys are going the wrong way. You're not supposed to hit the unsub button. You're supposed to hit the sub button. It's already subbed. Don't touch it anymore.
Yep, that's right. I don't know if it is bots or if it's people that just wanted to say something in the chat and then they're like, well, screw these guys. They made me sub. Now I'm gonna exit. It's very strange to me. I
got zero knowledge proof of what's going on there.
Have you ever gone like into and subscribed somewhere
I've only
unsubscribed?
I've only unsubscribed from like a handful of channels in the lifetime I've used YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But we have it happen every day.
And it's not a handful, it's a good chunk.
every day we are just battling. It's this freaking wave of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm like, oh, we're up. Oh, next morning we're down. So I don't know. Interesting. All right. So what else we got going on? Mining. This has been close, near and dear to our hearts, near and dear, no pun intended, as you see the next thing that I pull up here. But we got some Bitcoin mining going on. We're not actually cobalt mining or using slave labor. We're actually
We're not using a pickaxe. What do you mean?
we're
What about all these
not gonna
pickaxes for?
be we're gonna be using a little thing called a M50 plus. That's a miner. BitDeer's explosive August. Mining surge and global expansion drive cryptocurrency success. See, he's using a shovel, not even a pick. He looks a little bit too old to be mining.
That's a big shovel. Must be really heavy.
Yeah, no doubt. I wonder how much Bitcoin he can pull out of there. BitDeer achieved a remarkable milestone by mining 383 Bitcoin in August through its self-mining operations, marking a substantial year-on-year increase of 124% and a month-on-month of 74.1%. The robust performance can be attributed to the full-scale operations of BitDeer's Gedo data center in Bhutan, where approximately 30,000 mining machines were added during the month. The CEO of BitDeer highlighted the company's commitment to diversify and expand in its global mining operations. The data center played a pivotal role, adding about 3.3 exahash to the company's proprietary hash rate and increasing aggregate electrical capacity by 100 megawatts. Dude, they added 100 megawatts, all right, in a month, it looks like. Who adds 100 megawatts? And let me break this down for you, people. 100 megawatts. If you were to get a slamming deal, now obviously, you know, this is a massive company, so you don't know what they got going on in the background. But if you were to get an absolute slamming deal on machines and setup and all that good stuff, 100 megawatts would probably be somewhere in the range of $80 million ish, $50 to $80 million. Like, it is a massive amount of money. That being said, the only reason that they would be doing that is because it is, keyword, profitable. So mining has always been this question mark for a lot of people. We got into it and are finalizing some things actually as we speak. Actually finalizing. And we got into it as an opportunity to obviously just continually be able to stack Bitcoin. That's a long-term goal. There are definitely some benefits to mining versus just straight up holding the asset. But I'm just excited to see that if these massive corporations are out there mining, it means that right now is a good time to be mining, because if they're adding at that rate right now, they see the same opportunity that we see right now. And so I think that's encouraging for what we have going on. If any of you have experience with mining, drop it down in the chat. Would love to know. I know a lot of people obviously have done the helium miners. Some people have done some graphics card mining. Some people have done Ravencoin. I mean, I've heard a whole bunch of different scenarios, but I actually got introduced to Bitcoin via my buddy who was Bitcoin mining and heating his whole house. I don't remember how many machines he had going on down there, but heating his whole daggone house with some machines. And yeah, at any event, I don't know. Excited to see that the market is bustling and that mining's on the up and up. Let me stop real quick. What it do, fellas? Crespo in the house. Good to see you. Donnie said, look for companies who set up on a hydro dam. Hey, Donnie, guess what we did? Found them. Found them. So yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. There is effectively, for those of you that don't know, all of these companies worldwide, just to give you a little background on mining for a second here, they're wasting energy, just absolutely wasting it, left, right, sideways. They just have all of this excess. And what he was referring to with the hydro dams is they will put out all of this power, or the ability to produce power, and they'll literally waste like 90% of it. And so some of these hydro dams are begging people to come down there and use this energy. So you're able to strike up a deal with either the energy company directly or somebody who has a mining farm or whatever the case may be to use that energy. And yeah, bravo. That's what we have. That's what we jumped into. So I'm excited about it. Crusader, what let me see here. Hold on a second. Let me double check. Have we grabbed a 67th sub yet? I'm gonna
Oh, I was about to say we just lost another 3 for debate
No, we
crypto.
didn't.
We did. People obviously do not like the show. We might as well just quit now.
Knock on 10K's door and then just, you know what, guys, we're losing more than we're gaining.
So, no, we're still at 66 for danger close.
I see that. I see that. All right, crypto fam, smash the like, and if you just unsubbed, please come back. We'd like to we would like to have you. All right, what's next? Let's talk some regulations. The Senator Hagerty.
What's getting regulated now?
Everything. U.S. Senator Hagerty calls for incremental approach in drafting bills to regulate crypto. As lawmakers filter back from a summer recess and push for crypto legislation continues, Senator Bill Hagerty, he's Republican from Tennessee, says they should be focused on an incremental approach rather than a larger bill. The perspective I've taken is that rather than trying to come up with a fulsome package in one blow, to try to take a step-by-step process, Hagerty said on Thursday morning at an event hosted by the Cato Institute. The statement comes as lawmakers have worked on bills this past summer to regulate crypto, with some taking a comprehensive approach and others focus on specific issues. Both the House Financial Services Committee and the House Agricultural Committee, led by Republican lawmakers, advanced legislation in July that overhauls crypto market regulation, in part by creating a pathway for a digital asset to transition from being a security investment to a commodity. The bill is next set to go in front of the full House of Representatives. On the Senate side, a bipartisan group of lawmakers introduced a bill in July to tighten existing rules aimed at combating money laundering, seems to be a common theme, and sanctions evasion by making specific how they apply to DeFi. So effectively, he's saying an incremental approach creates certainty, allows for lawmakers to learn from what they're doing and continue on with input from the industry. My legislation's 2 pages as opposed to some complex behemoth that comes out of the hill. I admire my colleagues, but it seems that they value the legislation based on how many pages are in it. And as a business person, I don't see it that way. Simplicity has a tremendous amount of value, particularly when we're in an industry that's evolving this rapidly. Crusader, I think that last sentence there, we're in an industry that's evolving rapidly. You're not going to be able, so I like this approach, you're probably not going to be able to hit a bill that encompasses everything. You make it 2,000 pages, and then tomorrow somebody's going to come up with some freaking wild idea that's going to become really popular in crypto, and then they're going to say, wait a minute, you could launder money with that too, or you could do this, or you could do that, right? I mean, it makes sense to me. Does it to you?
Wait till the AI start laundering money. How are you going to stop that? Dude, I 100% agree, right? When it comes to this, like, blanket bills that just cover everything into their position, when they have a full understanding, we're living in the digital age. The time of understanding everything in one day or in a short period of time is over. People are constantly learning something new because something new is constantly being produced now, and it quickly, from 1 minute to the next, goes viral, right? Chat GPT, just a year ago, nobody was talking about AI, right? Only the head honchos, Elon Musk, and a few people, they were like, AI, yeah, that's decades away. We're not worried about that. Chat GPT came out of nowhere, bam, entire revolution, right? Teachers in school are like, did you write this paper, Billy? Or was it Chat GPT? People don't know. It's changed the world in any kind of way, from research papers to, you're doing your homework to anything. So regulations you can't wait to have a full understanding of a certain technology before sitting down and passing regulation. You have to do little increments. Hey, I understand this much. I understand what Bitcoin is. All right, here are the rules for Bitcoin. Next time we'll talk about Ethereum. Next time we'll talk about, NFTs. Next time we'll talk about this, and slowly work upon it. But sitting down and just writing one bill that's going to encompass the entire crypto space right now, and let's just focus on the crypto space. Just the crypto space is practically impossible, because what we know of the crypto space right now is going to be very different when the next bull run happens. Yeah. Because in 2018, 2017, there was no DeFi, right? There was ICOs. That was the thing of the time. There was no NFTs. It wasn't a thing of the time. 2021 was all about DeFi and NFTs, and that's what blew up the space, and yield farming and all these things. There will be something new that we don't know of just yet that will explode, right? Because these companies are working on it, they're building it out, and they're waiting to announce it when the bull market hype is at its all-time high, and it's going to just blow up, and then we're going to be doing something new in the crypto space. So how are regulators ever going to keep up?
Yeah.
They
No,
still don't
they're
even
not.
know. They still don't even know what happened to Epstein. How are they going to find out? How are they going to know what happened with crypto in the last 4 years?
The video officially just got flagged. We were fine until that, until that last E word that you just threw in there. Flagged. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. They're trying to write these all-encompassing bills to effectively protect people, when the reality is they don't even understand what they think they're protecting people from, and it's all a fallacy anyway. Which brings us actually to the next article, and I think this is really interesting. I talked about it before the show. The IMF, they are scared of some crypto. IMF and regulators set out roadmap to contain crypto risks. Global financial regulators and the IMF on Thursday set out a roadmap to coordinate measures that stop crypto assets from undermining, listen to this, undermining macroeconomic and financial stability. This is what they are scared of. Such risks are exacerbated by noncompliance with existing laws. In some instances, the G20's risk watchdog, the Financial Stability Board, and the IMF said in a paper. Many of the claimed benefits from crypto assets, such as cheaper and faster cross-border payments and increased financial inclusion, have yet to materialize, it added. Widespread adoption of crypto assets could undermine the effectiveness of a monetary policy, circumvent capital flow management measures, and exacerbate fiscal risks, divert resources available for financing the real economy, and threaten global financial stability. Dude, could you not write a better sentence here that says, I'm scared of crypto? I mean, it is absolutely amazing. It's kind of amazing to me that they'll just come out and say it. This doesn't say anything other than, hey, crypto is the real deal. Crypto is I don't want to say a threat. It is a threat to them, but basically what they're doing is they're giving validity to the thing that they're trying to not validate. They're saying, hey, this can, if it can undermine, listen, if our monetary policy, if our dollar, if our financial system was so sound, so solid, and so on point, why would crypto do anything to be able to harm that? Because it's just,
It's
it
because
wouldn't be able to.
it's because crypto shows the cracks in the Ponzi scheme, right? And
Yes.
the problem is the minute one country, in this example, El Salvador, right? The IMF came out to them pretty hard, starts showing that they can start walking away from the Ponzi scheme, then it becomes a problem because the Ponzi scheme is only fed and only continues going by continuously having more people feeding it money. But if El Salvador walks away and then Costa Rica walks away and then Paraguay starts to walk away and then Brazil walks away and then China walks away and then Russia walks away and all these countries, Saudi Arabia, all these people start walking away, the Ponzi scheme begins to collapse and there's nothing that they can do. So that's why it threatens financial stability, right? The
Yep.
stability is the Ponzi scheme. They can't let it get shaky. They need people to constantly be feeding it money and not letting people know that, hey, this is a pump and dump over here, and we can't stop feeding it money or it's gonna dump, right? So that's the problem. That's why they're so scared.
I like I like this comment right here. Donnie said they're not scared of it. They just know that a lot of banks will be gone and they can't control big bodies when they don't have the power of the money. That's it right there, right? What it does is it takes the power. The power is in the puppeteer. And the puppeteer controls the puppets. The puppet master controls the puppets via money, right? Basically they have control of them. They allow them to then funnel out and distribute the money that they are making us all slave over. Well, now we introduce this idea called Bitcoin, where we don't need to play in their ballpark at this point. We don't need to buy their tickets. We don't need to join in on the ever falling house of cards that they have created. And so they're looking at this and saying, uh-oh, we got a problem. And oh, by the way, it's a decentralized network of computers all over the world that, I mean, dude, when you really look at how Bitcoin was set up, it is freaking genius. I mean, the
It's
whole thing
the
is incredible.
simplicity is the genius of it. It's something so simple that literally just revolutionized the entire world history on how money works.
Yes, 100%. If you haven't read the Bitcoin Standard, I'm telling you, read that book. We need a link for that book or something to put on the channel.
We need to get sponsored by that book, bro,
Amos.
because all we do is talk about that.
That's
book.
right. We shill the Bitcoin Standard often. We need to reach out to Safeton and see if we can get a little link. No, for real, that is a fantastic book, and it does. It's revolutionized the way that money is viewed, and then take it one step further. Then you add these other assets like Ethereum, and now you have effectively the internet of money for things to be able to move, and the smart contracts, and just grows and grows and grows. And guess what? Yes, there's centralized entities involved in a lot of this, but there's also a lot of stuff in the DeFi sector that they're not involved in. And I think they recognize the reality of the fact that people are getting hip to the fallacy that is the US dollar, that is the house of cards that they've built up for us, and the dream that they've been selling us for so long.
For sure, dude. Shout out to Billy, long supporter and member here of the channel. Comb, baby, Comb. If you guys were in the project, you guys know all about Comb. And get ready. It's going to only get harder next time.
It definitely is that. All right, so Crypto Fam, excuse me.
We actually got a good comment here that I want to hit before we
hit it.
The show. It says the dollar won't collapse. Bitcoin will actually help strengthen the dollar because it'll off people getting loans. I guess it'll help people get loans against their Bitcoin. BlackRock wouldn't be getting involved if this wasn't the case. Interesting. See, I'm still digesting that. They're saying it will help the dollar because people will make so much money with their Bitcoin, especially richer people, right? Then they will be able to pull out more loans, helping the banking system Ponzi scheme continue fueling itself and having money velocity.
But could it be simpler than that? Could it just be like, I like the idea of where you're headed with that. I don't think it's a stupid comment at all. I think it's a good comment. But could it be more simple than that? Could it be BlackRock saying, hey, we need to diversify, bro. We need to get a piece of that action. I mean, literally, right? Like, there's another opportunity for us to make money. We're getting on the train. I think it could be that simple as well. Now, with BlackRock, it's usually deeper, darker, and a whole lot farther than that. But it could be something as simple as diversification, opportunity to make money, opportunity to control another asset class. They've got all the money in the damn world under management, so why not jump into this? Because it's the next big, hip, cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's definitely interesting how the tradition. We'll see how the traditional finance system plays when they get involved in crypto at that massive, spot ETF situation, people getting Bitcoin in their 401ks, pensions, right? Having an entire, industry like the pensions that police officers get, and city government workers get. They get these massive pensions when they retire. Having that actually in Bitcoin, right? Something that actually continuously. Maybe this is how we can get Medicaid to actually. Not Medicaid, Social Security. Get Social Security to actually work. Maybe we create a Social Security backed by Bitcoin. Right? They start mining Bitcoin, right? The government starts mining Bitcoin, feeding it to Social Security. It raises in value, and then slowly you can actually pay off your citizens when they retire.
The money that you owe them that they've been paying into for how freaking long that I'm never going to see. I'm sure that you're probably never going to see.
Because you're actually accumulating hard money that is evolving in time. I mean, it's growing with value. So by the time they actually retire, you actually can pay them that money versus dollars. Whatever they paid in taxes their entire life, by the time they retire, is worth nothing. They'll never get back the amount that they paid in taxes for it because the dollar just keep going down.
Yeah. What this comes down to is the everyday use case of crypto. And the last thing I do want to pull up, and I'm going to be brief on this one, but they've got everyday use cases all over the place in some big ways, and Southeast Asia is definitely going hard on this. They've got a super app called Grab, and it just added support for Web3 services. I just want to touch on this. So it's a ride-hailing super app is what they're calling it. They incorporated Web3 services. Users can now set up a Web3 wallet, win blockchain-based rewards like NFTs and more on the platform. So they can do all of that. They can pay with NFTs. They partnered with Monetary Authority of Singapore to bring the vouchers for popular eats and experiences in the city, right? They have 34.9 million monthly transacted users as of the third quarter of 2023. They operate in over 500 cities. They do food delivery, package delivery, online payment services, and more, and obviously ride sharing of some sort. Think about how massive Uber is. Think about when Uber opens up and says, hey, pay me in Bitcoin, bro. Right. I mean, I think and with the NFTs, you start now. Let's say I'm somebody. So when we travel, Crusader, when we travel to these events and speak at these events and whatnot, we end up using Uber usually a lot, unless one of the homies is renting a car or whatever. But it's convenient, right? And you know exactly what I was talking about. And it's so convenient. But how nice would it be to have a blockchain wallet where every time I use it, I get rewards, just like I do when I go to Kroger. When I go to Kroger, yesterday, actually, I filled up my tank and I got 80 cents off per gallon. Now, it feels good when you're pumping the gas and you see it go down 80 cents. Oh, cool. I'm getting cheap gas, even though it's not even kind of the case. It still costs me like $100 to fill that damn thing up. But at any rate, the point is, right, they're giving you rewards for continue to be a valued customer of them. So now let's just use it in a very logical case as an example like this, something like Uber. So use it all the time. Hey, keep using us. Don't use Lyft. We're going to give you these NFTs. We're going to give you these vouchers. We're going to give you these, maybe they've got their own token, Bitcoin rewards, whatever it may be. I think that this is just another example of how the whole world is just going crypto and going digital. It's the next step. It's happening. We're seeing it everywhere, and different countries are going faster pace than we are, for sure.
Yeah, dude, these apps have a tendency to change culture. Right before Uber, it was drink and drive and hope you don't get caught, right? Or walk home, right? Using your Chevy legs. And it was just a different time. Now, when Uber was introduced, at first people were like, but then it quickly caught on, and it's no one's ever going to go back from Uber. Uber's never going to disappear, right? People are going to be like, we're going further into having no cars, right? We're going to evolve Uber to the point where it's just your entire car is going to be a subscription based model. You're paying a subscription to have a car pick you up outside your house every single day to go to work or to go do groceries or whatever it is. There's not going to be a driver in there. It's going to be automated. It's going to be just driving on.
Have you rode in one of those yet?
No, hell no. Why would I put myself in that death trap?
I haven't either, but I saw them all over Austin, and
it's a hippie town over there.
It was an interesting thing to see. I gotta say that for sure.
So this thing, right, then came out Amazon and a few other grocery delivery services that they deliver the groceries to your house, right? That's changed culture too. I do not go to the store anymore. I have everything delivered to my house all the time. It saves me 2 to 3 hours of walking to going to the store and walking around picking up items. You end up picking up a bunch of garbage,
$bucks and somebody else picks it up for you and drops it off.
Not just that, but you end up saving garbage, right? Because when you go to the store, you start seeing a bunch of stuff that you're like, I probably shouldn't be eating that, right?
That's a good point. Go to the grocery store hungry.
Chips.
Bad idea.
You pick up an extra bag of chips. You pick up maybe a candy bar. Right? You pick up some soda. You pick up some other garbage. You end up buying a bunch of stuff that you don't need to, spending more money, and you spend at least 2 hours in there every single Saturday, at least once a week. So you're saving time. You're saving money. Now this app comes, right? This super app that does all these things, Uber stuff, delivery stuff to your house.
Yeah.
And then it starts involving crypto. Once that becomes a thing, we're not going to go back to US dollars. Once crypto is fully adopted to that matter where people just know about it, and they're just so used to using it, there's no going back to government money. There's no going back to fiat, right? Everybody's gonna be like, why would I use that? I use, right? Everybody uses digital money. Everybody uses a credit card now or a debit card. Nobody just goes walking around with checks anymore. Like, hey, you take a check?
Yeah, like I take checks for my construction company just because some of their larger amounts or whatever. But it's a dying thing. But check this out. I was just thinking about this. So Uber, right? Who hated Uber when Uber came out? The freaking taxis, right? Taxis were like, oh hell no. They absolutely. And what happened? Well, Uber took over. Now, you go to New York City, you go to Chicago, you go to some of these big cities. There's still taxis all over the place, but I will choose an Uber almost every day of the week, and
Every time I've always
they're
hated taxis.
usually cheaper, right? Like I have compared them. I've rode in a taxi a couple times not too long ago,
Even they're
and
not cheaper, dude. They're just the
they're just not
quality of the
they're not
experience.
comfortable. They're
They're
just
comfortable. They're new cars, right? The
yes.
people are real people. I feel like taxi drivers are all NPCs
Yep.
sent by the Matrix. So like
Yeah.
they have terrible vehicles because they're not theirs, right? So they're not taken care of.
Yep.
They smell terrible. So I hate taxis.
So next, who hated
The TV. They hated the TV.
No, hold on. Well, okay, we'll go with that one first since I'm having a brain fart. Who hated Netflix?
Who hated Netflix? Movie
Yeah.
theaters.
Movie theaters, right? All of the mainstream media at first was like, oh, hell no. Now they're on a subscription service, Netflix, on demand, right? You didn't have to see some of the commercials.
Bye-bye, Blockbuster.
Yeah, Blockbuster, all that. Boom. Hey, who hated Airbnb? Hotels. Right? And so as we evolve through, so hotels hated Airbnb. Guess what's huge? Airbnb. Now, Airbnb's had some struggles, but so have hotels, just because of the economy.
Well, real estate is just in a terrible
real
spot
estate's
right
tough,
now.
right? Then we talk about Netflix, right? Versus like the theaters, right? Not going back. We talk about Uber versus taxis, not going back. We talk about the delivery service, like you're talking about for what's like Kroger's? It's like Click List or
I don't know. There's a few of them.
There's a bunch
of them. There's one that's called Instacart.
ClickList. There's a few of them.
Amazon's one is called like Fresh or something like that they bring.
Amazon Fresh.
Amazon Fresh.
And so that's the next thing I was gonna say. Amazon. What's Amazon done? It has wrecked a lot of small businesses, but guess what? You see so many people with some of the same things. I saw somebody earlier today with the same phone case that I had, and I was like, you have the exact same phone case. She was like, Amazon's a beautiful thing. And I was like, you're right. Right. And so many people are just, this is where we're headed. So what's the point of the story? Well, who hates crypto? The banks. So that would tell me that the banks are threatened by them because they know where this is headed. And if it's crypto is invading all of these different things that we were just talking about, wait till you can pay for Netflix in crypto. Wait till you can pay for your Airbnb in crypto. Wait till Uber in crypto. And that's happening. So now you've integrated crypto into all of these things that all of these other companies absolutely hate. It's where we're headed, bro. I see it happening. It's happening right before our eyes. So I don't know. When people come into the chat and say crypto's a scam, or they say all this other stuff, it's so funny to me because it couldn't be farther from the truth.
Exactly. It's the same exact narrative, just being recycled from a different industry, right? All those other industries had the same narrative. Oh, Uber's a scam. It's all terrible. It's never going to be sustainable. It's never going to work, right? The TV's terrible. Who's going to want to sit in a room and watch a box all day? People love the radio, right? Yeah. They don't want to watch a box all day. All we do is watch TV now.
Remember when the internet came out and effectively they were like, yeah. Well, okay, that's like AOL, right? But people were like, there's no way people are going to email. Like, we got the U.S. Postal Service. Who's going to use that? Like, what would they use that for? Now, I can't tell you the last time, unless we're sending something to one of our subscribers or something, that I actually used it. My wife uses it all the time for one of her businesses, but like, not right. Email.
The only time I go to the post office, it's not even to the post office. I go to UPS is to return Amazon packages.
And you don't even have to do that anymore. You can go into Kohl's and all these different stores that have their little Amazon little hub or whatever.
Amazon boxes and stuff.
Dude, all I'm saying is that the world is evolving and crypto seems to be stepping into each one of those little hubs. And there's a reason for it. And we're not here to give you financial advice, but what we are here to tell you is that we see, right, what the banks don't want you to see. We see what all these institutions are so scared of because it is infiltrating every single facet of life. That's why we believe in the ethos of what crypto is, because it's giving us a new opportunity and an opportunity to control our own money and our own destiny, depending on the different assets that you're holding. So
try, baby. 100%.
Crypto fam, we love you guys. Again, wasn't TA Thursday today, but hopefully you guys had some fun. We had some good articles today. We will keep you updated as to what's going on. We'll be here again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Crusader's going to be holding it down all next week as I am out in Vegas. Gambling my life away. Well, no, just kidding. I don't even really gamble, but we'll be out there taking care of some stuff at one of the events. So excited about that. You could be anywhere, but you were hanging out here with your boys at Debate Crypto. So just remember, question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We'll see you soon.